The world of Runeterra might be one of the most fascinating and intricate fantasy settings in modern gaming. While League of Legends is commonly associated with its wildly popular competitive scene, Riot Games have been taking great strides in recent years to flesh out their world and the characters that reside within, even going so far as to reboot the entire story in 2015. While this push for a deeper narrative has been widely appreciated by the game's lore community, the results have been controversial at times. With a retconned world came the need to retcon characters. Riot has made a substantial effort in the last few years to reimagine the backstories of League's iconic champions to fit them into the new lore, but not every change has been met with positive feedback. Let's face it, no writer is perfect and hindsight is 2020, so a number of characters throughout the years have been left with less than stellar backstories compared to most of the roster. Still, it is my firm belief that criticism should always be supplemented with suggestions and feedback for improvement, which is what we're here to discuss today. Hello and welcome to Runeterra Rewrites, a series in which I'll be offering my own takes on League's most controversial stories and champions. My aim is simple, to propose alternative versions of these stories that better match the characters' themes and concepts, without needing to alter anything regarding their in-game designs or voice lines. With all that being said, please sit back, relax, and let us begin, shall we? Once, Kalista had been a general who faithfully served her king. Now she serves only her undying thirst for revenge. With the cursed black spear in hand, she hunts down all oathbreakers, deceivers, and betrayers, while empowering herself with the dying breaths of their victims. Kalista no longer knows when her mission began, nor when or if it will ever end. But she knows one thing for certain. Any mercy or forgiveness in her heart died long ago, at the hands of a trusted ally. In an age before the Shadow Isles, the kingdom of Camavor stood far across Valorant's eastern sea. The Knights of Camavor were said to be among the most elite soldiers in the world. Yet even among their ranks, few could match Kalista's sheer tenacity. Born the daughter of King Vuerte, Kalista was to inherit the throne when she came of age. However, that changed when her father suddenly passed of a mysterious illness, and his younger brother, Viego, took the throne. In recompense, Kalista was promoted to the rank of general, tasked with leading Camavor's troops in her new liege's name. Kalista took to the role naturally, commanding respect and discipline from the soldiers under her charge. She strived to live up to the expectations set before her by her late father, crown or not, though it wasn't long before disturbing rumors reached Kalista's ear. Some believed that it was no mere malady that claimed King Vuerte's life, but rather a poison administered by one of his political rivals. At first, Kalista ignored such disturbing rumors, but then she was approached by Hecarim, leader of the elite band of warriors known as the Iron Order. Hecarim told Kalista of a plot he'd uncovered to overthrow the royal family, orchestrated by a lesser noble in the countryside. This same noble was known to have been involved with her great-uncle Vladimir's disappearance, although no solid proof had ever surfaced. Regardless, Kalista's hatred overwhelmed her sense of reason, and with King Viego's permission, she assembled an army to storm the noble's keep. After a long, hard siege, Kalista emerged with the noble's blood staining her spear. The traitor had been killed, and her father and great-uncle avenged. Unfortunately, this would not be the last of Kalista's troubles. King Viego's reign was quickly proving to be controversial, and though she held misgivings about her uncle's obsession with his new queen, Kalista would not allow another member of the royal family to fall prey to scheming politicians. With Hecarim at her side, she hunted down any hint of treason to silence it at the source, failing to realize that this only sowed further discontent among Camivor's populace. Eventually, assassins infiltrated the castle, and though Kalista did her best to ward them off, a poisoned dagger struck the queen, dealing her a fatal blow. Cursing herself for her own failure, Kalista set out alongside many of the king's other soldiers in search of a cure, pursuing any lead she could find so that Isolde might be spared the same fate as her father. Eventually, one notable rumor caught Kalista's attention, an old Camivoran legend about a set of hidden isles to the west. These isles, the legends claimed, held the secret to healing any ailment or injury. After months of searching, Kalista eventually discovered an ancient map said to reveal the location of these isles, and presented it to her king. Though Isolde had already passed, Viego set out immediately with a contingent of only his finest soldiers, including Kalista and Hecarim. Though Kalista had her misgivings about Viego's recent behavior, Hecarim assured her that the king's sanity would return when his wife was restored. Finally, after weeks of long, hard sailing, the Camivoran fleet arrived on the shores of the Blessed Isles. An order of monks stood to greet Viego and his forces, but when he demanded access to the fabled waters of life, he was denied. The monks forewarned that his quest would only bring disaster. Enraged, Viego ordered all who stood before him to be cut down. Though many were quick to take up arms, Kalista wavered. She had killed many in Viego's name, but these people were innocents, and Kalista knew that her own father would never approve of Viego's actions. In that moment, Kalista took up her spear in defiance of her king, rallying several others to her side, including Hecarim. The ensuing battle seemed almost one-sided, as Kalista's forces clashed with Viego's own. But then, just as it seemed as though they might force Viego back across the sea, Hecarim turned on Kalista, plunging his own cursed weapon into her back. Kalista could do nothing but look upon her friend with shock and confusion, but Hecarim only offered her a knowing smile. Kalista's actions were treason, he claimed, and traitors must be punished. Then, everything went dark. When next Kalista woke, the world had changed. A black mist swept across the Isles, twisting the minds and bodies of all it touched. The once proud general rose again, filled with an unceasing malice in her heart. Her memories were hazy, but she could recall a voice echoing in her head, repeating the same words over and over again. Traitors must be punished. In that moment, Kalista swore herself to enacting vengeance upon all betrayers and oathbreakers, consumed by a hatred that defied explanation. Now wielding the very spear that took her life, Kalista searches for any and all souls willing to join her on her endless crusade, empowering herself with each and every contract. Legends spread across all Runeterra of a ghastly figure that enacts vengeance for the price of one's soul. Yet each pact made only serves to dilute Kalista's mind further. As the chorus of tormented voices in her head grows, Kalista's own sense of self is slowly withered away. And yet, deep down, she knows there is one deserving of punishment above all others. If only she can remember who.